Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy, episode 441 for the week of February 18th, 2020. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who's here with me this week?
Brock Sager.
Kevin.
And Charlie.
Hey, actually, Charlie.
Look at that. Look how smooth that intro went.
That intro was like gold.
Fortunately, we have a bit of a break from the usual hijinks of Toby as he's on his excursion to God knows where.
Just
for God knows
to it
why.
as his secret sabbatical, okay?
There you go. There you go. Is friend's mic on? Hey, this all looks good. Yeah, this all looks good. Okay, cool. We're good. We're good. So we, if you're a Patreon member, you're gonna hear you're gonna have a whole second episode because we are doing at the tail end of this podcast. We're gonna do our end of the decade in review. Kind of an additional part of this podcast that's going to go up in the feed. For everyone listening on the normal feed, you're going to hear that next week, along with our regular episode. So a little bonus for all you Patreon members. Just head over to patreon.com/comicconspiracy. You got probably another 40 minutes or so over there for you. So, no, or an hour and a half. Yeah, I mean, just
somewhere between 40 minutes and 2 hours.
Depends how long it takes us to remember what happened over the last decade.
You just realized you committed to that time frame.
This podcast is going to kill me. But for now, we have a regular episode here. This actually was the plan was to do this, but then we had sales charts and there's actually stuff to talk about. So it's like, yeah, do a little bonus. That'll be fun. Assuming this laptop survives. I don't know what the hell's going on with my laptop. It's being weird. Anyway, we have some sales charts to start off this wonderful podcast. Oh, you guys are going to be playing the guessing game a few times tonight, okay? What? A couple times. You're going to be playing the guessing game a couple times tonight, okay? January 2020 comic sales to North American comic shops. A whole bunch of comics came out. Would you guys like to guess the top 10? Oh, wait, hold on. Let me get that fuse list going. Of course. Gotta make sure that fuse list is on
you really
there.
Should
we go.
Edit in the Family Feud sound effect of the bell. No, the ding when you guess a correct one, or the buzz.
Okay.
That's the Price is Right.
I know, the fail horn. That's the best.
Which apparently is no longer.
Oh, bring back the fail horn, man. Come on. Comic books came out.
Yeah.
In January.
They keep coming out.
A couple of them.
The industry's dying, right?
Now, remember, January 1st is on this list.
Okay.
Brock, do you remember what happened January 1st?
Oh, God. What came out January 1st?
Do you remember the confusion around some comics that shipped January 1st? Do you remember?
No, I'm so tired. I don't even remember.
They were not in the Diamond Order form. They were on FOC only. Do you remember this?
Oh, God.
There were a couple big books.
Yeah.
And they're on this list. And that may explain why they're maybe not higher. Basically, for people if they don't remember,
I don't remember.
The books were not in the previews catalog for stores to order. They were only on our weekly adjustment list, which easily 50% of stores don't use. So a number of these books, I guarantee you stores straight up did not order, despite literally dozens of emails, messages, and literal notes in your shipment to remember to order these books. I guarantee you stores didn't order them.
I don't even remember.
Can't think of any book that's in the top 10 for January 2020. What a Batman! Batman 87 is the number 7 book at 74,000 copies of Batman 86. That's the first James Tynion issue.
It's no Batman 89.
80,000 copies for the number 6 book. That, of course, is the fused list where variant covers and standard price covers are added together.
Justice League?
No Justice League in the top 10. There is another Justice League member, however, on this list.
Superman.
No Superman in the top 10.
Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman 750 is the number 1 book of the month at 167,000 copies.
That's why the list took so long to get out?
Now, that is quite a... it was like third... Yes, it was late in the month because DC, again, with the number 1 book, so it was not out the second of the month, right?
Yeah.
Sales charts come out later when Marvel is not the number 1 book or not the number 1 publisher of the month. So we're continuing that trend here with Wonder Woman 750 as the number 1 book. What were those 2 big books that Marvel put out that weren't in the previous orders?
Is that incoming?
Nope. You should remember.
Doctor Strange.
No. Any other characters? This is getting so painful. I'm going to start having you guys to guess.
Spider-Man.
Oh, well, Spider-Man is on here. Thank you. Spider-Man number 37 is the number 9 book. And I'm sorry, is the number 10 book at 57,000, and Spider-Man 38 is the number 9 book at 57,000. That's pretty low numbers for top 10. So January is a very quiet month for comics.
X-Men?
X-Men 4 and 5 are both on this list. 5 was the number 5 book at 80,000, and 4 was the number 4 book at 93,000. And number 5 was also on that not on Diamond list, and there's a 13,000 copy discrepancy there between 4 and 5. So,
what would you expect the drop off to be between 4 and 5?
Well, I have to assume the stores that aren't using like normal.
Yeah,
not that high. A couple thousand copies at most.
I was half paying attention that there was definitely a drop between number 3 and 4.
They easily lost 10,000 copy sales. But the stores not doing FOC are going to be smaller stores, so it's not going to affect them as much. But clearly, I'm sure.
So one book was X-Men 5?
5 and 4, and then.
But you're saying one of the books was X-Men 5.
There's multiple books, but one of them was X-Men 5.
So we need numbers 2 and 3 off the list.
2, 3, and 8.
Okay.
They're all Marvel. They're all number 1s. They all have movies. They're all major characters. Thor number 1 was the number 2 book at 158,000 copies. That's the Donny Cates.
Did you read it?
No.
I liked it.
So I just finished up Jason there. I think we talked about this.
Yeah, we did.
Off air. I just haven't read King Thor. So that's where I am.
Oh, okay.
I have King Thor and then.
Yeah, I like the new Donny Cates number 1.
Yep.
Guardians
number 1. The number 8 book at 66,000 copies.
See, that was as far as the shelves I could see.
So we need a first issue that's the number 3.
First issue, number 3, lots of movies. Star Wars number 1. The new Star Wars. Now the jumps.
That's lower on the shelf. I can't see that.
Between Empire and Jedi at 97,000 copies. Quite a bit lower than the original Star Wars number 1 from this past decade.
Yes.
Which we'll talk about later in the podcast.
Ryan, I got a question for you.
That's a full 10. Spider-Man, Guardians, Batman, X-Men, Star Wars, Thor, and Wonder Woman topping the charts probably for the first time.
And the last?
Maybe ever? Did George Perez's number 1? No, probably not. No. I can't imagine. I can't.
Did Rebirth hit it?
No, because it came at the same time as all the other Rebirth books. So it would have been like top 10, but not number 1.
So what 2 books? So it was X-Men 5, and what was the other one that didn't get ordered?
Thor, Star Wars were the ones that shipped on January 1st that were not in previews. X-Men 5 was also on that list, but that did not ship on the 1st.
Well, Thor was in previews, and Star Wars was in previews.
Not for us to order. They were not in the retailer order catalog thing, and I guarantee you, and the other books too.
They were in previews, but not the ordering catalog.
Like Runaways, I think wasn't in there. Like a bunch of random shit wasn't in there.
That's at what number now?
Runaways?
Yeah.
Like what number is it?
Yeah,
30 or something.
Isn't that the longest running now?
It's just about the longest running Marvel book out there.
I know we got a lot to cover, so not to go down a rabbit hole. I have just one question for you
course.
for the next month's sales charts.
February.
Where in your prediction, I know you're not going to say top 10. Are you going to say top 20, top 50, top 100? Gwen Stacy, number 1.
Oh, totally. Very likely top 10.
Really?
Yeah, because of the variant covers. Yeah.
Oh,
number 1?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I forgot those.
Ji-Hung Lee? Was that the really good one? I think it was him.
There was a Campbell cover.
Yeah, and the Campbell cover. Yeah.
Okay. I forgot the cover part.
Yeah.
That's just such a baffling decision for me by Marvel. Not those covers. That's its own book. Like a non-superpowered Earth 1, quote-unquote.
60 degrees to your right. There's one of the variant covers sitting right there.
Oh, Sarah Pacelli.
Yeah.
Good radio. But what I was meaning was that not Spider-Gwen, not the Gwen of Earth 2 or whatever, just like regular high school Gwen Stacy. Just not sure who the audience is for this comic, but I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I sold a bunch of the variants and a couple copies off the shelf of the main cover. I'm sure I think I ordered like 5 copies of number 2 or something like that, which is about the real sales, right? I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's fine, but right.
No, I'm not talking about the quality at all. I just mean that as a concept.
I mean, a Gwen Stacy book is for the absolute. It's for the beyond casual and the absolute hardest of hardcores.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, then that's a pretty small audience these days. So, yeah.
It does make me wonder what because I haven't read it, but they have to have some sort of hook in the issue or something to try and bring people in.
It's called the J. Scott Campbell variant cover. That's the
I read it. I read it, and it's basically like a '60s, like a Lee and Ditko Spider-Man story, but happening now. So it's got like the Crime Master, the Enforcers, the Green Goblin, and her boyfriend Harry Osborn.
Yeah. For comic books, top 300 comics sold $25 million. That is minus 6% versus same month last year. But again, it was a very, very quiet start to the year this year. And
we didn't have any Tom King books in January. And we don't have any Tom King books in February. I'm going through Tom King withdrawals.
Yeah, it's a little rough. Everything shipping was $43.47 million. That's minus 3% of our same amount last year. Marvel with 46.67% of the entire share of comics sold to comic shops. DC just under that all-important 30% at 29.73%. Image at 5.6%. Image is definitely trimming back, which, is probably good if they're seeing books that aren't selling well. IDW at 3.28. Down and down and down we go. Items of the top 300, Marvel at 109, DC with 96, Image was 27, IDW was 17. Yeah, I swear to God, last year, wasn't there a point where Image had like 40 or 50 books in the top 300? Like, yeah, they have cut significant. And units in the top 300, Marvel at 51.84%, so more than one for every two comics sold was a Marvel comic. To comic shops, DC at 32.85, Image at 4.76, Boom at 2.97. Boom's really getting up there. So
I've gotten some good books coming.
It's a quiet month for comics overall, but there's some good stuff there, like there always is. Now I would like to think these should all be chart toppers when they come out here. There's a bunch of stuff got announced, big previews, especially for DC. We still don't have the Marvel previews out. I would probably have more Marvel stuff to talk about. Somehow the Marvel previews is not out. It's possible they're waiting to announce stuff at the Comics Pro Retailer meeting, which is this weekend. So maybe Monday? They could just drop the previews tomorrow. I have no idea. Like, we never know when they're coming out. But DC had their solicitations come out, and so they announced a number of big things. We talked about death metal last week.
We talked about it, but we didn't have a name.
Okay, so we didn't have the official announcement.
We didn't have the official.
Okay, right, because all this stuff dropped this past week. We have the Snyder Capullo follow-up series, Death Metal, which starts in May. Mm-hmm. And that is a continuation of Justice League plus a direct follow-up to the 2018 Metal series? Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds right. So that is going to be huge. They're going to have that same sort of foil cover. They're going to have
Jim Lee cover.
We don't know exactly the breakdown of everything, but I'm assuming a similar number of like little one-shot issues. Yeah. Limited amount of crossovers. I don't expect this is going to be something that's
encompasses the whole line.
Yeah, they're not going to do the crossovers like they did before.
The thing is that they did such a good job with it last time.
Well, it made those issues very important.
Yeah. Especially that Green Arrow issue, because nobody ordered it.
Well, but given that this opened the door for more non-Batman characters, I could see them pumping out a fair amount of one-shots just for having a few different variants of different characters and stuff roaming around there in Death Metal.
Yeah, well, we have the what are they called? The Dark Multiverse guys,
really
right?
Good.
And so that sort of fills in a little bit of that gap. And then I don't if you've seen the shots of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman with Wonder Woman with the chainsaw of truth, which I like. That's very funny. And Wonder Woman or Superman's got that like super like metal long metal hair. It's like a mullet Superman. I'll come back again. I don't know where this is gonna kind of end up. Right? It is. I think what they said 6 issues plus a off month. So May, June, July, August, September, October. So if it ends in November, this is related to the next thing I'm going to talk about. Ends in November. We also got the solicitations for Generation 1, which is the first of a number of 5 generation.
Which this comes out at the end of May.
So May, June, July, August, September, unless there's a skip month in there, that puts Metal ending in November with October the start of G5, which, again, will give us a few minutes. We'll get to that. So there's kind of a weird – I don't know how that's going to line up, right? That seems kind of –
You're assuming they're all going to be on time.
Well, Metal was mostly on time. I think it maybe got a little bit delayed.
No, I think it mostly was.
But
I think the issue with Metal is I think they added an issue.
Did they?
Did they?
I don't remember. Well, I don't know if Metal
added a couple one shots.
They added the stuff. Yeah, they had like the Hawkman Found was not like added later, right from that original list. Yeah,
and Batman Lost.
Yeah. So I don't know if the Generation stuff and Metal are necessarily related. You would kind of think they would be, but then I also don't know where Doomsday Clock stands in the conversational part from all of this. So I think we're just going to have to wait for the stuff to come out. But Generation. A lot of rumors out there about what DC's doing. We still don't know, right? But we have 5 books coming out. Generation 1, this comes out in May. This is the Age of Mysteries. We have Generation 2. This is monthly. Generation 2 is Age of Metahumans. 3 is Age of Crisis. Generation 4 is the Age of Rebirth. And Generation 5, the Age of Tomorrow. Now, let me read you the solicitation here for Age of Mysteries, and if you guys can kind of get an idea of where I think they're going with this.
What's the page count on these?
They're prestige.
I don't think
they're prestige format.
They're like 48 page, like prestige format. Not prestige plus, not the oversized.
No, not the
physical,
not the obese ones.
Yeah, they're a normal comic size, like those Tales of the. I don't
multiverse.
Yeah, I don't know that they're 48 pages, but I'll take an example. Yeah. They're 40 pages or something like that.
Or it would be the Dead Man, the last Dead Man miniseries was like 3 books. Those were prestige.
Yeah, it's gonna be an oversized book. The Age of Mysteries will expose secrets from DC's history, including what was the previous undocumented Big Bang of the Age of Mysteries. So, Age of Mysteries to me sounds like this is Golden Age, right? What character truly ushers in the dawn of superheroes, inspiring all the rest? Well, we know that's Wonder Woman, right? Because I've kind of already answered that. What's the real reason behind the Justice Society of America's retirement? I mean, they answer that at least pre-crisis in the... Well, was that pre-crisis that book came out?
The last days of the Justice Society?
Yeah, it was just pre-crisis, right?
Yeah.
Kind of the...
It was right around that.
Right. The government made them unmask, and they're like, no, we'd rather retire than do that. So they clearly can probably update that a little bit for today. Which a Golden Age hero will become history's greatest villain? I don't know. That's a good question. What contentious alliance kept the Wayne family dynasty alive after Thomas and Martha's death? Now, I'm just going to leave that question there. We'll come back to it in a second. Who are the new, never-seen-before wildcards who will be instrumental in fashioning DC's push to the future? From Dan Didio, he says, the Generation series of specials are built to bring the new DC timeline to life. With Generation 1, Age of Mysteries, and every subsequent volume will be shining a spotlight on the 80-plus year publishing history of the DC Universe while charting the course for the bright future of DC's characters.
This technically starts Free Comic Book Day, right?
Right. Which is...
Gen 0.
0 is the Snyder... Hitch Wonder Woman story that was in Wonder Woman 750, plus the Wally West, and we're going to have to talk about this, so...
Sorry, Charlie.
Well, Charlie, you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, so do you want to put a spoiler warning?
Right. Go very big spoilers for Flash Forward numbers, because we haven't really talked about this yet. It's out there. But
it's coming out...
Tomorrow.
Or today.
Today when we're recording.
This.
Right. But... This is DC's already publicly.
It's already, the artwork for the Zero came out like
So
2
if
weeks ago.
if you are unsullied, skip forward here.
Yeah,
For
if you
15
haven't,
minutes.
so give us 10 minutes, whatever, if you don't want to hear any more of the conversation. But for those that don't care or already know, Wally West now has the power of Dr. Manhattan from the end of Flash Forward number 6. Like, he's blue, he's got the thing on his dot on his head.
Mobius chair.
And he has the Mobius chair, right? And that's kind of how, like, he gets the Mobius chair and it, like, connects to Dr. Manhattan's power, right? And so the Generation Zero one-shot for Free Comic Day is going to be the story from Flash 750. So Flash Forward 6 comes out tomorrow. That continues directly in the Flash 750, same creative team. And then that is going to be expanded upon. That's that Flash 750 story that Brett Booth, who's
Joshua Williamson?
No. Crap. Who's the writer on it? Blanking on his name. The guy writing Flash Forward, Scott Lobdell.
Flash. Okay, go ahead.
It is expanding that story, the Flash 750 story by them that come. So it's Flash Forward 6, Flash 750, Generation Zero.
Story out of Flash.
Right, one of the stories in Flash 750. Generation Zero then expands that story, adds more pages to it, and is like the proper launch to this.
Okay.
Now, what is Generation Zero? What is G5? This thing we've been hearing about for a long time. What does this stuff lead to? All right. The early rumors, and I didn't want to talk about this stuff because I don't want to talk.
On Bleeding Cool.
And it's a bunch of garbage rumors because we just don't
And you
know.
wouldn't let Toby talk about it.
I let him talk about it all he wanted.
No, he kept getting mad because you would shut down discussion of that panel at NYCC.
No. I told him he could talk about that as all he wanted. I didn't want to talk about any other rumors. The panel from Comic-Con, he could talk about all he wanted. I didn't care. There's like the extreme version of this rumor is that they're basically going to put the DC universe into some sort of like normal age time. So the Waynes are murdered in the 40s. Bruce Wayne grows up,
to be alive.
becomes Batman in like the 60s, age 2, the age of what did I say?
Age of metahumans.
Where age 2, the age of metahumans, which seems very likely to be the Justice League, right?
That would be the Silver Age on that.
Right, Silver
timeline,
Age.
yeah.
Right. Generation 3, Age of Crisis. There's your Crisis on Infinite Earths. Generation 4, Age of Rebirth. That's today.
That's New 52.
And Generation 5, Age of New 52 and today. Yeah. And then Generation 5, Age of Tomorrow is if these characters age naturally, then we are looking at 2-3 generations down the line of Justice League members are now the main heroes. The original set of rumors were like Cassandra Cain or Cassandra Sandsmark, Cassie, the Wonder Girl, right, is now Wonder Woman. Luke Fox is Batman, right? That all these the Teen Titans are now the Justice League. Everyone's kind of gone up multiple generations.
Given the fact that they kind of have the Age of Crisis, which you would think would still lean into the recreation and rebirth and stuff. Again, the recreation of the DC universe. Do you think
and Doomsday Clock?
Yeah. Do you think the story overall is Wally West is basically resetting everything as though all these reboots never happened?
Well, from the solicitation, it sounds like he goes through all the fucked up history of the DC universe and sees the crisis and sees all this stuff and goes, I now have the power to fix this. And that's what he does. Mm-hmm. But I don't... An Age of Crisis and an Age of Rebirth doesn't make sense if you undo Crisis and undo Rebirth, right?
So you're going back to the Age of Meta?
I don't mind if this ends up being what the metaverse expanded on in Doomsday Clock, which was these characters can be born in the 30s, but then they're reborn in the 60s on Earth 1, and then they're reborn post-Crisis, and then they're reborn at Rebirth. I don't mind if they do that, right? The idea of this sort of we're gonna naturally age these characters, or we're going to lock the Bruce Wayne murders to the Bruce Wayne murders wouldn't be the 40s. It would be
39.
No, he's Batman in 39,
oh, yeah.
right?
So, yeah.
So, like, it would be like
30.
in the 20s or something,
yeah.
right? So, I don't
Those are roaring times.
exactly know. Now, let's say this is 100% accurate, right? Like this is the rumor and this is what's going on. Now, if you have a story where this shit gets all kind of weird and you have a bunch of new heroes that are stepping up to take over the roles and the Justice League is gone because of the events of Metal and Justice League, and this is a 6-month DC crossover across the entire universe and every book's connected, I am in. That sounds great. This sounds like a lot of fun. They expand, try all new characters, you get a bunch of new mashups, you get a bunch of new relationships, and then at the end it all gets solved and everything goes back to normal. If this is Luke Fox is Batman forever, I mean, come on. Like, no. I don't care, and they introduce new characters, I don't care. Like, you can have your Azraels, you can have your Kyle Raynors. I love these characters, right? I love the little burp, but you're always going to come back to Bruce Wayne. You're always going to come back to Diana Prince. You're always going to come back to Clark Kent.
Hal Berry.
They literally just exposed Clark Kent's identity, and now, like, what are you going to do with this? You have Doomsday Clock, which does a great job of fixing everything.
Doomsday Clock does a great thing of fixing everything and then kind of introducing this potentially really amazing like universe going forward where we're like, ooh, I'm excited to read some of this stuff.
Well, the funny part is they acknowledge 5G, and then Jeff Johns even says in the book, well, in 2025 everything just goes back to normal. Like, so are we? Is this Johns foreseeing the post 5G world, or is this planned? Is it, because we had Rebirth was, or New 52 was 2011, Rebirth was 2016, and so now we have 2020, 2021 is 5G, 2025 is back to basics again. Like, come on.
It seems like it would be easier to just have an Earth where that is the case.
Oh, I would love a line of 3 Ultimate DC comics. An Ultimate Superman, Ultimate Batman, and Ultimate Justice League. Boom. You're done. You can do whatever you want. You can have your generation, right? Totally fine, right?
But last time this topic came up, you mentioned the Byrne Generation series.
Yeah.
Aren't those an Earth?
Yeah.
Those are officially one of the Earths.
Right.
So you already have this existing in the DC universe.
And in terms of a quote-unquote ultimate line, that's kind of what the Earth One books were.
But they've all they're done at this point. We'll get the... I don't know when the Johns Gary Frank Batman's going to come out, and I don't think there's any...
You want to start a pool?
Is there one more Wonder Woman?
I think there's one more Wonder Woman.
There's one more Wonder Woman. I think there was supposed to be one more Titans.
Oh, and there's supposed to be another Green Lantern.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. That Green Lantern was really good.
Are they good? I never got to read the Green Lantern one yet.
It's really good.
But did it... I mean, you're just confusing the brand at this point.
But...
Do any of you see...
Now I just... The more you talk about, like, just letting the timeline progress naturally, I'm just like, so what you're saying is the regular DC universe is going to become the Kingdom Come DC universe.
Right.
And then I'll be all in. So.
But do any of you foresee 3 years from now, people are like, actually, Luke Fox is Batman. That's the solid stuff. Yeah, no, that's just him going forward. We're done. No, Bruce Wayne, it's over. We're done with Bruce Wayne.
No.
But...
There will be Bruce Wayne stories in some format.
So how often do you feel like at this point they can do that?
I mean, it's every 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what we're looking at this point. Between, like, Jim Gordon as Batman, like, every character's gone through a weird transition of handing it over and coming back over the past decade.
And that's fun to a degree. Some work better than others, right?
Yeah.
Like I will put a gun to your head if you say anything bad about the Nightwing as Batman Morrison stuff. That
stuff
gorgeous.
Was great.
It's amazing.
What, Black Mirror?
Yeah, all of it. No, like the entire Batman and Robin
Dick
stuff.
became Batman.
Post RIP and everything.
They should have kept that going another year or two.
The Snyder stuff was that. That was all Dick.
Well, right, the end of Detective, So I love when they do this sometimes, but there's never a belief that this is ongoing. So DC's more recent attempts at introducing lots of new characters at one point, Age of Heroes, less said about that, the better.
Well, that's why my thought process is naturally, if they're going to do that, you lean a little bit more into sort of Kingdom Come and stuff and make some of the new characters, the characters you've already introduced in some of this other stuff, and then put in some new ones as well.
Yeah, sure. If they want to make the Kingdom Come future now, I am totally down with that. That's a cool 6-month story.
Yeah.
That's not the future going forward forever, right?
No.
So even though we have this new timeline stuff coming up, I can't believe for a second that anyone, having seen the sales history of both All New All Different Marvel and DCU and the post year one, the post first year of New 52, would think, yeah, replacing all our characters is a great idea. Now,
So
the renumbering of the books, that is, their point here is everything counts, everything has happened, and I love that. I love the idea of we're going to make it so every story ever has happened.
I saw somebody's joke on Twitter that they can't wait to now see how Jerry Lewis is integrated into the DC.
Yeah, I saw that. So you can acknowledge Crisis and the timelines have changed and all this stuff. But why would you then go, we acknowledge everything, and then we're going to change everything? It defeats the whole – like, we have been asking for this for so long. Don't let the crises get rid of the old stuff.
So after Crisis on Infinite Earths, when they did that History of the DC Universe, that book I carry around for the cons, was meant to be, here's a tour of DC history from Anthro to the end of the world. Yeah. So you can see now what this timeline currently looks like.
Right.
yeah.
That was necessary because Crisis had reset everything.
Yeah.
This is not coming out of a reset
That we know of.
Right.
Other than
we don't know what Wally's
Doomsday
going to do.
Clock, right?
Well, no, I
Wally's
think
gonna
it
snap
is.
his fingers.
But what I hope this book is not is just Wally in the Mobius chair watching all these events like off in the corner of the panel, and it's just a tour of history. But unless there is some drastic new history. Just on a side tangent, I mentioned to you that History of the Marvel Universe book that I got digitally to just sample it because I'm like, okay, it's Mark Waid. It's like, why is he – there was no event that precipitated this in Marvel, right? So I'm like, well, why are they doing it? And I have no idea why they're doing it because I knew everything that was in that comic.
Yeah. Well, Marvel doesn't really reboot their stuff.
Yeah, so I don't understand
does.
why they're telling a history. Here's the Eternals. Here's Odin sending Thor, stripping his powers. Here's a dramatic panel of Peter Parker getting bitten by a radioactive spider. Like, who is this for? So the DC, my point in bringing that up is I hope the DC one is not just a tour of a checklist. Then this happened. Then this happened. Then this happened. Then this happened.
Well, it's going to set up. It is, but it's going to be stuff that we don't know.
Good.
So who's the villain?
So to me, this is sort of yes, set up stuff we don't know. I'm all for that, but I also kind of, as you talked about with Crisis, they kind of gave you this blueprint. But there's been so many events since then with 0 Hour and everything, and they have never given a really concise blueprint of what's happened, what's not, which has given a lot of people flexibility, but has also frustrated the crap out of me as a reader because I want to know. Did Batman still get his back broken? I want to know, those key events, did they happen or not? And sometimes you finally get acknowledgement. Sometimes they just never quite lean into it. And that's one of the things with Rebirth going into it, that you kind of felt like everything was coming back, and then it kind of stopped at a point. Like the changes stopped folding in, and it just kind of went forward in an even more uneasy state because you weren't really sure how much was... Some things were very much brought back. Some things were very much thrown away. And I could see this taking it to that step further, especially after reading, well, not reading, but flipping through, Flash Forward, trying to sort of solidify what actually is going to change and what actually is going to be brought back.
Are we going to get Sue back?
Well, we've had Crisis on Infinite Earths. So we had Infinite Crisis. Final Crisis didn't really change anything. Flashpoint
changed a lot.
Flashpoint changed a lot. but now they've made Flashpoint. New 52 is its own little thing, right? It's now its own separate multiverse.
Yeah.
So
like a lot of this feels like it's
Rebirth.
It's been more, pulled into being a different, like you said, or different Earth in time.
Rebirth has kind of taken the parts of New 52 and parts of the
post-crisis,
the pre Flashpoint, right, and sort of smashed it together a little bit, but
not doing a very good job. Other than Superman, not doing a very good job of defining what got smashed together and what didn't.
Yep. So I don't need the entire timeline from like you said, Kevin, from the beginning of time to the end of time explained to me in a narrative, in just a linear sense. Yeah. But
we don't need a Marvel 1000.
Can we please just stop fucking around with stuff? You could do your crises and interesting things with the multiverse, but it doesn't have to change everything forever again. Like it just needs to stop for a while, please. You have the infinite multiverse. Literally everything has happened. You can just go to that. You don't have to limit it to 52 worlds or they kind of just get around with it. It's like, oh, it's a multiverse of multiverses. So it's an infinite multiverse of 52 multiverses. So we're back to the infinite multiverse again. It's all very confusing. But the people working on these books, are very good. Brian Michael Bendis, Dan Jurgens, Andy Schmidt, Robert Venditti, Joshua Williamson, Doug Monkey, Brian Hitch, Mikhail Hanine, Ivan Rice, and David Marquez. So that's an all-star lineup right there.
So is each of those teams going to do one of the issues?
Yeah, okay. So I'm not worried about the creators. I'm worried about what comes next. So
well, the last time we got Generation, something that had Generation on it, it was bad.
Yeah, we'll find out. So that's the big DC thing, and I think we're going to know, well, by Comic-Con, we should probably know everything. I would think by then. Now, here's two things. Well, let's start with this one first. There's one thing that I know we're all excited for. We finally got the next DC 80th anniversary announcement. That is for Green Lantern 80th anniversary. They're not going to steal an issue of Morrison's Green Lantern away from him. We're just getting a nice special one shot. Big 80-page, or sorry, yeah. Does it say 80 or 100 pages? I don't know. I'm assuming it's 100 pages. I think the other one's about 100. Oh, yeah, 100-page super page spectacular. With Green Lantern stories by Jeff Johns, Darryl Banks, Charlotte Fullerton,
Is
McDuffie.
It new Jeff Johns?
It's just Jeff Johns. Sina Grace, Mike Grell, Jeff Lemire, Ron Mars, Denny O'Neil, Ferdinand Passerin, Ivan Rice, Rafa Sandoval, Mariko Tamaki, Peter Tomasi, James Tynion IV, Robert Venditti, and more, as well as a bunch of pinup pages.
Oh, you were meaning a new Jeff Johns story.
Yeah.
I would assume that it is, because all of those
Yeah. And they all take place with certain characters at different times. The variant covers are by Nicola Scott, Matt Tyler, Doug Mungie, Neil Adams, David Finch, Philip Tan, Ivan Rice, and Jim Lee. Of course, we haven't seen the Jim Lee one.
And the one that's not on that list is
Yeah, but Jim Lee's is coming up. The covers are fantastic. I love that Philip Tan cover.
Have they posted them all yet?
I don't know which. There's one that I saw that is
it's like the 70s. It's like the cover of like
the Philip Tan has Kyle Rayner, doesn't it?
Oh wait, is that the Kyle Rayner cover? What's the one with a bunch of them? And like Hal's head is in the back and Jon Stewart.
That's Liam Sharp's.
Sorry, Liam Sharp. Liam Sharp.
The main one.
Yeah. Sorry, Liam Sharp. That's the main cover. Yeah, fantastic cover. So, they're all, I love the Guy Gardner cover too. That's the David Finch one, 80s cover. Oh, it's so good. And the Jeff Johns, the Ivan Rice is like the pure Jeff Johns era cover. So very excited for that. But I know Charlie's favorite comic book coming up. You heard about this, right?
If it's the one I think you're talking about, yes.
Oh, Batman: The Adventure Continues from Paul Dini and Alan Burnett. Drawn by Ty Templeton, the original artist of the Batman animated series comics.
Did they announce? I had to write something about this, but I didn't see this part. Did they announce how long the window is before it goes physical?
I mean, they tend to be like a couple issues and then
May.
6th.
May.
So I think it's April digital, May physical. Yeah. So
I read through it. It's April 16th or something, and then
So
Two small books, one print book.
So I'm obviously very excited for this book, and I'm also wondering if they're going to use this book as a platform for the action figure line that they've already started with Paul Dini writing some of the little blurbs for that action figure line.
You're talking about the
like Adventure Continues
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
line where they have like the Nightfall Batman in that style, and they showed off like Vampire Batman.
And don't they have a Batman Who
Laughs?
Laughs? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not just that, right?
Yeah.
So it's a 6-issue digital first, but print copies coming. Batman: The Adventure Continues. It takes place in the continuity of Batman the Animated Series.
Yes.
They are also going to be reprinting the original Batman the Animated Series single issue format, $1.99 a piece, including this could be that first Harley Quinn issue in there within the first, what is that, issue 12, right?
Was
the
that
first
called
year.
the Batman Adventures, right?
Yeah, Batman Adventures. Yeah,
With the Mike Parobeck art.
Yep.
Oh, those were so good.
And they are also going to do those standard size, all ages, kind of YA friendly graphic novels featuring reprints based on like a per character basis. They're starting with a Batgirl book, so it's going to reprint a lot of the Batgirl issues. Also, most of those issues have never been reprinted because it's not just that first run of Batman. It's the later books. It's Gotham Adventures, blah, blah, blah. So it's all the animated stuff. And that might...
How much did they get through? Because they did the
They only did the first two.
4 volumes, and then they did the Batman and Robin volume.
And that's all they ever did. Yeah. They never did the Gotham Adventures. They never did Justice League Unlimited. They never did they did like little collections randomly, but not like the nice full collections. So a lot of those issues have never been reprinted. Yeah. Plus, we have the action figures, which the first few have already come out. So if they announce HBO Max / DC Universe Batman animated series like continuation, I think
you're going to subscribe for life.
Well, I already am. I want to hear that will be huge for them if they can get that going.
So I'm curious, did you hear about the Kickstarter that went live today?
No, what's for?
So IDW Games has the Batman the Animated Series license.
It's a board game, right?
They did a single board game that I have that was fun. But they're doing a larger board game using their adventure system that they did for the new edition of the Teen Mutant Ninja Turtle one.
Okay.
And as a Kickstarter, they already kind of have the main game, the Arkham Asylum expansion, the Mask of the Phantasm expansion.
Wow.
The New Adventures expansion, the Batwoman expansion.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm excited for this Kickstarter.
That's cool.
Did you already kick?
Not yet. But one of the things I'm excited for is in the Arkham Asylum expansion, they also add a new mode to the game, which is the Clayface mode, where each player gets given a card to determine if one of them is actually Clayface. So at some point in the game, they can kind of be like, I was Clayface all along.
There is one more Batman related. A lot of Batman in this podcast this week. One more Batman.
It's all accidental.
It's you're the Batman. You're the Batman. One more Batman related thing, and that is our first shot of Robert Pattinson as Batman and the suit for the upcoming Batman movie that comes out next year. So I like the suit. I like the look. I like his chin. I like the helmet. I like the he's got that little sort of high collar thing going on. I'm not into. Okay, I'm probably wrong because I usually am about this type of stuff, but I don't see that symbol, the bat symbol. I don't see broken down pieces of a gun in there. Have you've seen, right? Yeah. People believe that it looks like a little belt clip thing. It could be batarangs. It could be a bunch of little gadgets in there. I don't in any way, shape, or form see any part of that resembles pieces of a gun. But that is the internet's belief that...
I mean, I was just assuming it was going to be adapting the Kevin Smith story where he melted down the gun to...
I mean... That story is awful, but at least that's just melted down metal and not literally chunks of a gun shoved into a bat symbol. Now,
I couldn't make out. I'm like, how big is this fucking gun? Like, I mean, to cover the entire chest on somebody who's ripped, that has to be a huge fucking gun.
I mean, multiple sides and everything, but I don't like. When I looked at it, I'm like, that's kind of weird. I don't like gadgets. People think that's a gun. That's fucking stupid. Like that is the melting down the gun. That's fine. Whatever. It's just melted metal. You do whatever the hell you want. They do it in Mandalorian. Like whatever. That's fine. I don't care about that. But like, I'm gonna take a chunk of a gun and shove it into a bat symbol. That's just dumb. So I really, really fucking hope that's not the case. Kevin, I know you love it. I know you love.
At the interest of sounding "Get Off My Lawn," I was just hoping. We could once get him without armor.
That's never going to happen.
Yeah, I'm accepting that.
Yeah,
I just thinking like because that video, the Vimeo thing was like he's stepping out of the shadows, right?
Yeah.
I'm like. There's this like Schrodinger's cat. That box is the thing's either dead or alive. He's going to be armored or not armored. And I'm like,
I mean, you could see like
come on,
he turns his
just go
shoulder.
back to the Adam West Batman series and you'll be fine.
Or that short film where he fights the Predator.
He turns his shoulder and you could see like there's like a chunk of like arm here and here. So it looks like even more armored than like the last couple because like but.
Armor, baby.
Yeah.
Armor.
So the early rumors, right? This is year 2. This is long Halloween-ish time. This is a lot of the villains aren't quite the villains yet, but they're becoming that way. I mean, we already know the cast. The cast is huge, and it's not Catwoman and Penguin and Riddler. It's Selena Kyle and Oswald Cobblepot and Edward, whatever they're now his more recent not real name. Because it's like he's like my name's not. I mean Edward Dinkum is like not my birth name. He's like Edward something, but he changes his name later. He changes to Riddler, whatever. But I like someone draw me a picture of that bat symbol and draw me
the gun that comes out of it.
Circle the parts and then show me a gun what those parts are because I look at it and I'm like, well, I see like a little belt clip. Okay, and not a belt clip on a gun. Like this looks like something that's gonna like one of those like not like a switchblade, but like those like utility knives, right? That like pop open. That's what
it's got a Leatherman in it.
It's just what it looks like. It doesn't look like a fucking gun. What if he pulls out 2 guns from his thing and then starts shooting criminals?
I'll walk out of the movie at that point.
Well, okay, so this is the clearest thing.
Yes,
that was almost me.
That's like the clearest thing, but it's still. I don't know.
I don't see it.
Like
if that happens,
I can see.
You will see me walk out of the movie.
You'll be hard to miss walking out.
I can see potential like grip on a gun, but the problem is what is that money clip thing?
Right, that's
like,
right. It looks like a knife.
Okay, unless it's like tasers. If he pulls out like double tasers.
But Ryan's talking about like Golden Age Batman with 2 pistols.
Hey, I just watched BVS and he pulls out like fucking machine guns on Superman. Yeah. So you didn't walk out then.
I told you I was ready to walk. When he's standing over Superman with that kryptonite spear, I'm like, this is the breaking point for me. This is the breaking point.
Well, we are now in...
So, in a random way, I have no problem with Batman pulling guns on Superman.
No, it's...
So, I will add that as my qualifier. If he pulls out 2 guns on Superman, I'll allow it.
To Charlie's defense earlier, that Kevin Smith story didn't make the bat symbol itself the guns. It was the plate underneath the bat symbol.
Like I said, I'm fine with I'm going to melt down. I mean, I've talked about this. I hate Joe Chill, right? I hate Joe Chill. I've always hated this
Morrison
idea.
did a good story with Joe Chill. Remember that?
God, you got to rub it in.
Sure, but
that was a good.
Yes, but I don't like Joe Chill. I don't like Batman to know who killed. Batman should never know who killed his parents.
It was the Joker the whole time.
I mean, Joe Chill was long gone from continuity by the time I started reading comics, and they brought him back, and I'm like, I'm not. So it could be a little biased just because that's not what I grew up with. But I just do not like Joe Chill.
So I'm curious. Are you okay with knowing as long as Batman doesn't know?
Oh.
Well, that's the animated comic. You remember that issue? That's a good issue.
Yeah.
where like Joe Chill dies and we know, but he doesn't know. No, I don't want to know. No, It should be nobody. It should be faceless crime. The criminal in the shadow that is nobody. It shouldn't be someone. It shouldn't be Joker. It shouldn't be.
Well, it's just a random act of violence.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
One random act of violence.
You can never end crime if you don't know. You can never solve your parents' murder if you don't know who did it. You can never get over that, and that's his motivation forever. And it's way better than knowing who killed his parents.
No, I was
and
curious
his name is Joe
because
Chill, a stupid name.
I think there was an episode of Batman the Brave and the Bold.
Heavy.
With like the Spectre and Phantom Stranger like playing a game overlooking Batman with sort of the interaction with Joe Chill and stuff in that episode. And I have no problem with cosmic beings using that mystery as a game piece to a degree.
Sure.
And that's why I was curious, because I agree with you. It's better if he doesn't know, if he's constantly fighting this war, because to a degree, it's a better motivator if he doesn't know.
Yeah.
But I also like the idea of that being able to be dangled in front of him.
Well, Teen Titans Go didn't even show us.
Yeah, Robin did it.
No.
Robin killed Bruce Wayne's parents
in front of the bullets. But like they didn't show who did it. Like they pulled him, they saved him from the alley. Yeah. And they're like, hey, you're good. And then they're like, nope, get in that fucking alley.
All right, we are going to hit up some questions here. We got a bunch of questions on Patreon. We'll do a few Twitter ones. It's from Verum Libertas on Patreon. He says, what percentage of subscribers actually turn in orders on time? How much easier would it be if that was 100%? Well, thanks to the wonderful Comic Hub, it's now...
When it crashes.
That has nothing to do with them turning in orders. Our people actually doing pre-orders is 100-fold from what it was before.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm doing a lot better ordering.
Yeah, I literally used to have one person that would turn in an order form, and a handful of people that would ask for stuff occasionally. Now it's dozens a day, dozen plus a day.
I remember when I went
100 plus a week, easy.
I remember when it was just I would take the store's previews magazine, go through and write like B on whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
Like it was like boom.
Yeah. I mean, I still go through the printed previews because it's a little bit easier when I'm doing my Comic Hub order.
The previews, despite like I know we're in a digital age, but having that physical previews there to be able to flip through makes it so much easier.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, I think I stopped flipping through previews when online started having the DC solicitations and the Marvel. Yeah. Like as soon as I started looking at that stuff, looking through previews is just like, I already saw all this crap.
Yep.
I still dog ear it.
That's from Zach. He says, have you ever or how have you seen the demographics of your customers change since the rise of popularity of superheroes, like film and TV and everything? It hasn't changed a ton. We've had definitely more younger customers come in. That some of that had to do with superheroes, and a lot of it has to do with like kind of the rise of the all ages graphic novels.
I think for us though, the difficult part is like at the height of all the comic movies, we moved stores to a like busier location.
Yeah.
So we just got like larger influx of people.
We got a lot of new customers, but some of that, I mean, a lot of that has nothing to do with the movies. But this, I mean, I sell a lot of copies of Infinity War, Civil War, or Infinity Gauntlet, Civil War.
Still Watchmen. Like all the big stuff still sells. Yeah, we still sell those books. A lot of those people will probably never buy a third comic, but they buy one or two. But yeah, obviously some people come in for it, but the demographic's fairly the same. I mean, we have a decent amount of kids, a lot of women in the shop here, but not like shifted overnight to be a completely different group of customers. There's still a lot of our subscribers are 30s, 40s, techie men that same guys that just get whatever you put in their pull box.
Yeah, and then a handful of old timers, but they kind of drop out as time goes on, and some kids and some teenagers and some 20-year-olds, a lot of 20-year-olds, but yeah. This is from Mr. Rama. This is from I don't know what his real name is, but it goes like about like Hellboy ebooks on Twitter or something like that. And he actually felt bad because I somehow ended up in like some like mute list that I had run for like some, I don't know if it was on Comicsgate or something like that. I have no idea how I ended up muting him. But he was like, "You never answer my questions." Well, now I'm answering it because it's on the Patreon, and I got it. I got you all sorted out. So you're all clean up on Twitter. See, we're all good now.
Did he accidentally retweet something and you were like, "Oh, fuck you"?
I don't know. I have no idea how it happened. He said, "Did
I just
you guys
want to see the montage video of you going through Twitter on the computer of you just blocking people like with this just big music going and blah 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 for like Comicsgate people."
Well, it was mostly
now
run
I just
program.
kind of want to just. Certain people track how many like followers they have. I want Ryan to start tracking how many blocked people he has.
I mean, I just ran script. 20,000 people blocked to follow those assholes. He said, "Do you guys keep up on the end of BPRD? How did you like the ending of the story and thus Hellboy's story?" Although I don't know, we have like every month there's a new Hellboy comic, so it's not really over. If you haven't read it, why not? I have not. I have read the first volume of Hellboy. I don't dislike it. I've never. It's so much at this point.
So
I've only ever read Seeds of Destruction. It's good. I liked it a lot.
I have read a fair amount of Hellboy and some BPRD. I own all sorts of hardcovers and stuff at home waiting for me to have more time to read them. So there's my excuse. There's just too many hardcovers right now for me to be like, I need to spend the next X amount of months.
Those library editions are beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
The only Hellboy I've read is the Night Train, the Johns one.
Oh, yeah. I never read that.
Yeah.
Hellboy's cool, though. Yeah, yeah. Have you
Every
read?
time I've read it, which has been sporadically over the years, I've always liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just haven't read it consistently, so I have no BPRD knowledge at all.
Yeah.
I'm glad we could finally answer his question.
That's okay.
That was worth
we'll
the wait.
see. We'll see how long my motivation lasts to go and find out what he's talking about, because now I'm really
Well,
curious.
like they're like Hellboy in Hell, the final volume,
Yeah.
and then they like had that BPRD stuff. But
Yeah.
now they have like the
Hellboy and the BVRD.
yeah. I don't know.
But they have great collections for. I have no clue if they're all still in print, but they did nice hardcovers. They have the library editions for the main Hellboy books. Yeah, I'm a big fan of how they collect Hellboy books.
They're very nice. I'm surprised they haven't done the library editions of BPRD.
Yeah, but they have the like. I mean, I want to say they're like trade size, but they're like the 3 trades in one hardcover.
They're really
like
nice.
I like
Yeah,
those.
yeah. And final, it's
Patreon.
it's a comment from Craig Anderson. His comment is, "I turned 50 in October of 2016. For no other reason beyond that, please read an email question from that time frame."
Yeah, good
Bravo,
job.
Craig.
Go, bravo, Craig.
October
Bravo, Craig.
2016.
Do you have this queued up, Ryan?
I do. I sure
Okay.
do. We received a wonderful email from Macedonia, and it says a couple things, but his question. Being a huge fan of the Superior Spider-Man run, could you see any villain pulling a Doc Ock on Batman? That'd be a good run. It'd be fun to read. So Superior
Didn't like
So
Hugo
Doc Ock,
Strange already do that?
like put his mind into like Peter Parker's body and like became Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Hugo Strange was playing Batman. He wasn't inside the actual
okay,
Bruce
okay.
Wayne.
Yeah. I mean, Mad Hatter gets close, right? That's like mind control, but it's not quite the same. I mean, the obvious answer is Hush, right? I mean, that's what Hush is trying to do,
Elliott, yeah.
like take over
Or
Bruce.
Ra's al Ghul, something like that.
Yeah. Like,
But, I mean, if you want, like that Spider-Man run, if I'm remembering now, was more on the humorous side in a lot of parts.
yeah, I mean,
Or was that the foes?
kind of.
Well, that's
That's
Foes.
Superior Foes.
Oh, okay,
Is
okay,
the-
yeah.
So this is the Superior Spider-Man
Where it's Ock as
Ock and-
inside.
but it is
Peter.
So-
it is Ock's ridiculous, over the top
Yeah.
talking out of Spider-Man's body, which is funny.
So if I was to do this with Batman, and it would take somebody like Batmite or somebody to do this, I would actually take the Harvey Dent, put him in Batman's body, but leave the Two-Face personality in Harvey Dent's body.
Okay, I can see that.
yeah. Is there a Is there a Doc Ock like villain for Batman?
Well, I think
I mean, you could go with like the Riddler for like superiority complex and that kind of thing.
I think if you had Ra's like the Lazarus pits are gone, I'm going to die, but through magic I can take over Batman's body and become like.
I remember this Batman Beyond story.
Is that Batman Beyond?
Yeah.
Is it?
There was the episode Out of the Past where Ra's had already body jump into Talia.
Okay.
And then was trying to groom Bruce through the use of the Lazarus pit to body jump into Bruce.
Okay.
Maybe Jericho could help out.
But it was through technology, not magic. But that was a great episode of Batman Beyond.
Well, there you go. They already did it.
Yes.
Thank you, Cregan, the person who wrote that email 4 years ago.
Macedonia.
Twitter questions?
A couple questions on Twitter. Oh, Leonardo, you asked me the best questions. If you could change the two balls from two different sports games, which ones would you change? If you could swap two balls from two different
Ryan
sports
better
games.
take this one.
Oh, man. I would switch.
You really...
A bowling ball and a baseball.
No,
very difficult
A
to...
bowling ball and a soccer ball.
Yeah, there you go. It'd be very difficult to throw that... you break your foot trying to kick that soccer ball.
Well, no, I was just thinking, especially if you changed it in midair, so when like the bat hits the bowling ball, the bat shatters.
Question from Dan.
At least if they're hitting it right, the bat would shatter.
I mean, we golf ball and baseball would be...
Yeah, then you find out who the real good hitters are.
Yeah.
If they're pitching a golf ball.
Dan said, how did you guys read this panel from Justice League 39? And the panel is of...
Do I need to go get it?
Shit, what's his face? One blank on the guy's name.
Because that's all we're doing tonight is blinking on people's names.
Not Black Adam. Johnny Thunder. Thank you. The Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
The Thunderbolt from Johnny Thunder, traveling through Black Adam, and the caption is events that unfolded outside your purview, some disconnected from your reality altogether, but still deeply felt and impactful.
Wasn't that from Doomsday Clock?
Right.
Yeah.
So he says, that's redrawn from Doomsday Clock 12, right? It feels like Justice League is saying Doomsday Clock is another reality, which I severely dislike. I'm going to wait till, so Justice League 40, the first issue.
The first Vendetta issue?
Right. You're like,
huh?
Well, this clearly takes place
After Death Metal.
Because they're talking about Superman revealing his identity. But again, if you read Justice League, like Snyder's run of Justice League, feels like it takes place over like an extremely short amount of time. His entire run.
No, his entire run is tiny amount of time passes in that thing.
So I think you could almost put that Justice League, while it's 40 issues and no tomorrow, or no, what's it called? Justice League. What was it?
No Justice.
No Justice.
Drowned Earth.
Justice League, Drowned Earth, and Death Metal took place over like a month. And you can just kind of shove that wherever you want to. So I just don't think we know yet. I am terrified of them just completely ignoring Doomsday Clock. Because Bendis says he's going to have his parents, Clark's parents, in something.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're just ignoring it. I think they're going to do stuff with it. But we don't know. That's all we got.
Honestly, I would have hoped they would already have done something with it, but...
Well, before we recorded, Greg Capullo had tweeted like, yeah, working 15-hour days because the next script you're doing is months late is tough. But I keep going on. And everyone's like, yeah, okay. Maybe Metal was like supposed to be out in like February, right?
Yeah. Well, remember, Scott had that delay with his son.
Yeah,
of course.
I'm just really surprised that with the way Doomsday Clock ended and with the Superman secret reveal that they didn't bring in the parents then.
Like right away.
Yeah.
Well, did anyone read that
with
Superman
the reveal? That would have been.
I read Heroes.
Does that have anything in it?
No.
Yeah. Like that story especially feels like they should have made an appearance.
Well, and I've said this before. Well, I agree with it, but it's getting a little complicated now. I always say kind of wait till the stories are done, because then you can sort of figure out where they go. But we're talking about now stories that have lasted for like 4 years. So we're a little past the normal like 6-month time period of how long these things normally go for. I would think, I would just let's wait. Let's wait till this is all said and done. Let's wait to Generation, because Generation might fix
Justice
everything.
League 39 just kind of.
Well, it literally
It's just like, we're running towards the light, and then you're like, okay.
Well, to be continued in
To be continued.
Death Metal.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, well, we'll see where that goes.
Alan says director's cuts were a thing for a few minutes. Director cuts in comic books. Where, the comic reprint that was shot from the comic pencils with script pages too. Which new ones would you like to see in 2020? I want a Strange Adventures one. I want a director cut of Strange Adventures. They did the Mr. Markle one.
They did.
I'd love to see Strange Adventures.
I don't really care, because they end up
Doc Shanner
They end
pencils.
up putting half that stuff in the deluxe hardcover. So got to fill those things up.
If we're talking about looking at the art, then I would like to see a Heroes in Crisis one.
Yeah.
Although he said 2020.
Yeah, for new stuff. That Batman Adventures? For Charlie?
Well, I was just thinking even like the Wonder Woman Dead Earth. I like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good
that
call.
one I could
Batman,
see.
Catwoman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Norminator says... Norman's Brock Sager, #1 fan.
Yep.
Says, I understand the rant when it comes to speculators. I've been ranting about speculators on and off through the week.
No.
I also agree with Ryan when he says pre-order your books. I tend to see quite a few shops that hoard hot and speculator-driven books and sell them either online or a markup. Is that just bad? But I do see both sides. It's obviously speculation and pre-ordering is a hot topic this week with the release of Batman 89. It's a $60 book, and it comes out tomorrow.
No, it's $60 for the pair.
Well, $60 for the pair, sure. First appearance of a new character.
Doesn't really come out tomorrow because it's apparently already sold out.
I had my one post that I regretted immediately after putting it on the retailer forum, because I'm just so done with these conversations. I don't blame DC for being like, hey, we don't want to, give away the entire story. We want to give you ordering info, but like, fuck, we introduce new characters all the time. Nobody cares about any of these characters. They care about this character. Like, we did a big overprint. We don't know. Right? We just don't know how this works. The companies aren't going to reprint a ton. They're not going to overprint. They're not going to ship. They're not going to they're not going to put their neck on the line every single time.
DC always does decent reprinting.
Yeah. Second print's coming out right away.
Well, they try and do like reprints when they know something's getting bought up too quickly, or they try to give
the speculation on that Lois Lane issue is the stupidest thing in the world. The Lois Lane #8 from a few weeks ago, because not even the character's first appearance, and like idiots are following these speculation sites thinking they're going to make money. Like it's but buy whatever you want. Like, I don't care, but pre-order.
I mean,
don't go to a shop for Wednesday morning and think you're going to get a copy or think you're going to get 10 copies.
Yeah.
You're not. Don't buy just because it's worth money. Buy because you like the book.
The only time the speculation really, really ticks me off is when it affects normal readers' ability to read the book.
Right. And that's, unfortunately, because of how tight a lot of stores order now, and that's why I push pre-order so heavy, right?
Yeah.
Stores selling day one. Look, someone comes in tomorrow and says, yeah, you got that Batman book? I heard it's hot. Yeah, sure, $50. I'll sell you one out of someone's box, and I'll split the money with them, and I'll give them a second print for free that I know doesn't care. Give him Scott's copy. He'll never read it anyway. He doesn't care. But, my regular readers who have bought 1 through 88 will get a copy for cover price.
Yeah.
Right? So...
shops that like automatically take it off the shelves and hoard it to sell for...
Man, that's
just...
ridiculous.
Yeah,
no, that's stupid. Day one, I'd never put a book on the wall day one. Incentive covers are different.
I will say this. I appreciate it when shops do a limit one on books like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, no store will have this on the shelf, period. Yeah. Like, there's not a copy that will be on a store shelf tomorrow morning of Batman. Like, there just won't be for any store. Second print's coming in a couple of weeks. That's what you're going to buy. No one's stupid enough to put that.
Well, and
the
the thing is you and I were talking about it earlier.
And if they are, it'll be gone at 7:00, or it'll be on at 1 minute after opening.
Well, you and I were talking about it earlier today, and then it's not even her. Everyone's going crazy for Hell Risen 3, which is out next week, but it's not even going to be her first appearance. Her first actual appearance is Batman 92.
Yeah, that was in the Tiny
and I'm like,
newsletter.
I'm like, are they doomsdaying?
Well,
her?
my fear, right? Here's my fear is that all these speculators that pre-ordered all these copies are going to walk. When people get the book today and say she's not even in this book, and the book fucking tanks in value overnight, they don't pick up their copies, and now these stores. Yeah, man, that could be great because now these stores can put these copies out, but they also have maybe pre-sold these copies or set them aside. It's such a shitty. Like, the whole thing's so stupid. I don't like. It would be awesome if every comic was available in every single amount of quantity we wanted, and we always had the right copies, and we never sold out, and we could sell infinite copies to speculators and readers alike. That is just not the case. So with something like this, I get frustrated by the speculation, but I don't let it it's not that big of a deal, because we'll get the second prints for the readers. The price will plummet. If you really want, wait a few months. Buy for cover price on eBay. No one's going to care.
Well, then you have the reverse.
But also, pre-order your fucking comics.
But then you have the reverse of that, where it's something like the Death of Alfred with, was it 77?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, they're going to bring him back.
Nobody cares.
And nobody cared.
Yeah.
And then now everybody's like, oh shit, they didn't bring him back.
Yeah,
and now that
yeah.
book's...
Yeah, it's not crazy. But,
it's not crazy, but it's like...
It's worthless the first day. Yeah. Oh, what about they introduce new characters in like Dial H every issue. There was a new character that was in Justice League Unlimited in the last couple issues. They bring in new characters. Like, there was an issue of West Coast Avengers number 10. That was like a $20 book the day it came out for some reason. I have no idea why. And then now it's just totally worthless. Like, why is this? Like, who cares about this
Wolverine's eye doctor, right?
Oh, like, is that Wolverine's daughter? Did they ever fucking do anything with that? Does anyone care about that book anymore? What was that? Marvel Comics? What?
Marvel Comics Presents?
I'll look it up as we're recording. Like, yeah, remember that book was like, people were going out of their fucking mind for that book.
Well, and it's like Batman. You got Batman 92, which what solicited this with these solicits, right?
Yeah, and that's the start of like the whole Joker War thing they're doing.
Yeah,
so that's
and it's like okay,
good.
her first appearance is finally solicited, but people are freaking out about these. I mean, I saw it on in Batman 89. I'm like, it's literally one panel.
Yeah.
Like one panel, and then I'm like, Hell Risen's probably going to have another panel, and then there's probably going to be another book in between there that has another panel of her. It's like, geez.
I mean, people are actually paying still like some money for that Marvel Comics Presents.
How much?
Like $20. I mean, the price is kind of all over the place, but yeah.
Well, what number was it? 4?
Number 6. Yeah. But still, it's still fucking stupid. I don't know. Like, I hate every part of it. I hate the speculators, but I all my retailer friends that are reading this know I'm just done with the retailer forums. So for a while, like, I hate the stupidness in the retailer forums too. So, final question from
Speculator One,
Nerd 23 Athletic, great name. When are we going to get more Moon Knight? Did you read that Conan Serpent War with him in it? I have the issues, but not sure if I should just file them or read them anyway. No, just right in the long box. Just Conan and Moon Knight teaming up, just right in the long box. Never open them. Don't even look at them.
The best thing is the new story arc is by Zub, right? Jim Zub is doing the new Conan stuff.
That's cool.
But apparently Jason Aaron is doing another.
He's doing like another
book.
new Conan. Yeah. Moon Knight's a great character that just can't seem to last in the series.
I really like the Jeff Lemire run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Jeff Lemire was good.
I thought the Warren Ellis run was interesting. I liked the take.
Yeah.
It was cool. But yeah, for whatever reason, Marvel just can't keep that book going more than like 18 issues or 12 issues.
It's only if they had Tom King writing.
When the TV show comes out, or wait, movie? TV show? What are they doing? A TV show?
That's
they say?
TV, I think.
TV? Yeah. They'll do another Moon Knight book to come out with it, and it'll last 12 issues, and then they'll cancel it. Oh, totally off topic. Just real quick here, just for 2 seconds. I finished Iron Fist Season 2. That's fine. I'm like 4 episodes in the Daredevil season 3. That's fine. Okay, now we're done. Now we're going back. Now we're back into our questions. Moon Knight. It just made me think about it because like the Marvel TV shows. I'm trying to wrap those up.
Yeah, we can tell.
Yeah, they're fine.
I haven't even watched it. I'm just.
Oh.
Yeah. People were like creaming their pants over Daredevil season 3. I'm like, well, 4 episodes in, and it's just fucking the same as all the rest. It's fine.
It's better than fine. It's better, but
words.
I know we've got bigger topics to get to. So
I'll see what the next
see
what the next 9 episodes.
Yeah,
see what happens. Maybe
it's better than fine.
Okay. Is that Bullseye?
Yeah,
but that's not Bullseye.
Well, neither is the Colin Farrell Bullseye.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Okay. But the director's cut.
I mean, I knew that was Bullseye, but I'm like, oh wait, is this Bullseye? Okay, I guess.
Oh, geez, another Godzilla.
Yeah, my Plex loves Godzilla recently.
Yeah.
That's it. We are going to wrap up this wonderful, wonderful podcast. Thank you all for listening here. Our wonderful Patreon backers, remember there is an additional episode up on our feed. It is the end of the decade in review. We're going to put that up right at the same time as this. For everyone else listening, that episode will be up on the feed next week. Where you got this episode. So if you want to wait, you can do that and just get it next week. But if you are a Patreon backer, it is up a week early on the new feed. And I feel bad. I don't do quite enough stuff for the Patreon. We do the Q&A and I post on there occasionally for other stuff. But I'm going to try to do a few more new things here and there whenever we get a chance. So this is a good way to do it.
We need to do some movie commentary.
No. Well, we have to thank our good friends
Just for
on
Godzilla
Patreon,
movies.
Joe Duff and Andrew Nelson Mendez over a recovery of an Anime Junkie podcast, Craig Anderson at CraigPAnderson.com.
Craig, keep up the email questions.
I mean, he only turned 51, so it was over. It never happened again. Jimmy Rivera.
49.
Is that the Social Forum podcast? That's the Social Forum, FOURUM.buzzsprout.com. And James Laws, thank you all very much for your continued support. Patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy. Or as for as little as $1 a month, you can help support this podcast. But buying comics from comicsconspiracy.biz is a great way to support the podcast too. Coming down to the store, 913 West El Camino Real, Sunnyvale, California, 94087. Picking up comics in store, talking to us, coming by, hanging out.
Making me ship it out to you.
Set up a subscription via Comic Hub at customer.comichub.com.
You can do that either in the Bay Area or you can do it anywhere in the
Mail
world.
order anywhere in the country? Anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
And
you just want to get into that international shipping?
No, really, I don't. I forgot to stop myself. He had such a powerful voice with the reading the address. I got a little too excited.
If you'd like to hear our previous episodes, you can go to comicconspiracypodcast.com, geekbox.net, and Apple Podcast. Find all our episodes there. Rate and review always helps.
We're also on Spotify in your notes because you keep forgetting. We're on Spotify. People use Spotify.
There we go. YouTube.com/comicsconspiracy if you would like to listen to this episode. We're on YouTube. No video, but hey, you can hear it on there. The Comic Conspiracy at geekbox.net if you would like to be the question read at Craig Anderson's 60th birthday. Remember October 20.
Hey, 52 is an important number. He can do it for 52.
16, 17. So if you send it in this year, that would be his. Yeah. Sure. There you go.
Bonus points if it's a question about the question.
ConspiratorBrock.com. That's Brock's blog, video posts,
Not at the moment,
and
but I like the
unboxing
question.
videos. Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast. That's Charlie's Doctor Who podcast. And Etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art. That is my wife Leanne's Etsy store.
Are you current on this season of Doctor Who? Or
no, I've only seen the first episode.
It's been a really good season.
Yeah, first episode was really good. That reveal kind of comes out of nowhere, but I was like, okay, we'll see where they go with this.
It's
better than the first, yeah?
Yes,
okay.
By a lot.
Nice. LeanneHale.com is also where you can find the rest of Leanne's artwork. It's my wife. Go buy some of her prints.
You can find some of her artwork. Some of it's been taken.
And you won't find any of her you won't find the Baby Yoda stuff on Etsy. But you'll find it at Comics Conspiracy, and you'll find it at LeanneHale.com. If you are on Twitter, you can go to Ryan Higgins Ryan. Wait, you can go to? Well, yeah, you can. I guess you can go there. You can follow me at Ryan Higgins Ryan. You can follow Brock at Brock Sager. Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. Kevin is that Kevin Sharp. The store is ComicsCon Store. I'm also on the Insta, the IG.
Oh, Jesus. Do you even,
I do every single day.
Oh, wow.
I every single day I have a post. So you can follow Comics Conspiracy.
Is that where you put the deal of the day up for 50% off the store?
It's not the store. It's the one book. No, that would be on Twitter and Facebook.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's just Comics Conspiracy. I have no idea what my name is on there. And if you like the Geek Box, we didn't have an episode this week. That's unfortunate. But next week we are doing the Geek Boxies live at Comics Conspiracy with myself, Ryan Scott, Justin Haywald, Adam Fitch is going to be joining us, and possibly one or two more other people. So we'll have a new episode up next week. Sorry for missing this week. Ryan Scott was a little busy with work, so he was unable to record very last minute. But we'll be back on next week. And of course, Manga Machinations podcast. Our good friends over there, they're big manga and anime fans. Go follow their stuff. I've done a few episodes there. Appreciate if you guys check them out. They definitely talk about different stuff than we do here, but it's still comics, so it's a lot of fun. And for everyone else, for everyone, we'll catch you next episode. For our Patreon backers, we'll catch you in a minute over on the other episode. For everyone else, we'll see you next week.